It's January 15th, 2026. Welcome to YesToHellWith.com. Here is a summation of today's video. When a response is required, the first intention must be to ask a question in the correct order: authority, jurisdiction, then obligation, because skipping that order silently concedes what cannot be undone. Even when the right questions are asked, position is often destroyed by poor wording, because questions that contain assumptions, denials, or explanations argue instead of forcing definition and citation. Order and form together ensure that the system is required to establish its own claims while you avoid supplying facts, consent, or admissions that the system failed to prove on its own. In a prior video, we established what questions must be asked and in what order. Now we deal with a different problem. Most people destroy their position while asking the right questions because they ask them in the wrong way. This part is about form, not substance. A question can preserve position, or it can silently concede everything you're trying to protect. Here's the rule. If your question contains an assumption, you've already lost ground. Many people ask questions like this: why do you claim that I owe this tax? Or, where did I consent to this obligation? Or, why do you have jurisdiction over me? Those are not neutral questions. They assume that a tax exists, that consent is the theory, or that jurisdiction already applies. That is arguing, not questioning. Proper questions do not challenge conclusions. They require definitions. They do not dispute facts. They require identification. They do not deny obligations. They require citation. A proper question never states what you believe. It never explains your position. It never argues fairness, intent, or facts. It asks the agency to state its position clearly and completely. Here is the discipline. You do not say, I am not liable. You ask, what law creates the alleged obligation and how does it apply? You do not say you lack jurisdiction. You ask, where is the jurisdictional basis for this claim and where is it established? You do not say, I've never consented. You ask, what specific legal mechanism creates the alleged duty? The difference matters. Statements and denials add content to the record. Questions restrict the record. Tone matters as well. Aggression invites argument. Emotion invites escalation. Explanations invite mischaracterization. Neutral questions do none of that. They do not cooperate. They do not resist. They require clarity. If the agency answers, the record is clarified. If the agency avoids answering, the record still speaks, but only if the question was clean. This is why wording matters as much as order. You can ask the right question at the wrong angle and still destroy your position. That's what we're trying to prevent. In the next video, we'll address what happens after you ask correctly. That is, how agencies typically respond and what their silence actually means. And as always, may truth reign supreme.